Hello everyone, I am Rishi Sarbom, a student of Bachelor of Sciences in Computer Science from Acharya Narendra College. Along with my classmate Aniket Roy, I hereby going to present a tutorial on how to install MySQL on an Ubuntu operating system. So let's jump into it right away. In this tutorial, you will learn how to install the latest version of MySQL on an Ubuntu operating system, how to create, import or export a database, and also how to uninstall MySQL from your system. In order to install MySQL, you will need an Ubuntu operating system version 16.04 or higher, a stable internet connection, a user with sudo privileges, and a command line terminal shell. Step 1. Open a terminal window by typing terminal in the search bar of the application drawer. Click on the icon saying terminal to open a command line shell. A window similar to the one as shown will pop up. Step 2. Update the package indexes by entering the command sudo apt update. Enter your root administrator password to continue. Wait for all the package indexes to get updated. Finally, an output similar to the one as shown in the figure will be visible to you. Step 3. Install the MySQL server package by entering the command sudo apt install mysql-server. Enter Y when prompted to continue with the installation. After unpacking and installing every component of the MySQL server, the final output screen will be similar to the one as shown. Step 4. In order to configure the MySQL server, enter the command sudo mysql_secure_installation. This will take you through a series of prompts where you can make some changes to your MySQL installation security options. The first prompt will ask whether you would like to set up the validate password plugin, which can be used to test the password strength of new MySQL user before deeming them valid. If you elect to set up the validate password plugin, any MySQL user you create that authenticates with a password will be required to have a password that satisfies the policy you select. The strongest policy level require passwords to be at least 8 characters long and include a mix of uppercase, lowercase, numeric, and special characters. Enter a suitable root user password for your server. Re-enter the same root password to continue with the configuration process. Note that even though you have set a password for the root MySQL user, this user is not currently configured to authenticate with the password when connecting to the MySQL shell. From there, you can press Y and then enter to accept the defaults for all the subsequent questions. This will remove some anonymous users and the test database, disable remote root logins, and load these new rules so that MySQL immediately respects the changes you have made. Step 5. Launch the MySQL shell by entering the command sudo mysql. Remember that in order to access the MySQL shell, sudo privileges are required. In order to terminate the MySQL shell, enter the command exit semicolon. Remember, every MySQL query ends with a semicolon. A bye message will be displayed informing successful termination of the shell. In order to create a database, you require basic knowledge regarding MySQL queries, a user with sudo access, and a command line terminal window. Let us first look at how to create a database using MySQL queries. Step 1. Open a terminal window and enter the command sudo mysql to launch the MySQL command line shell. Step 2. In order to create a new empty database, enter the MySQL query create database followed by the name of the database. Enter the command show databases to show the list of existing databases. Step 3. Enter the MySQL query. Use followed by the name of the database to switch to the desired database as the current working database. All the further updation, deletion and modification will take place in this database. Step 4. In order to create tables, enter the MySQL query, create table followed by the name of the table, followed by a sequence of field declarations separated by a comma enclosed within parentheses. Step 5. Enter the MySQL query show tables to obtain the list of existing tables in the database. Enter the MySQL query DESC followed by the name of the table to obtain the table description. Now let us look at how to import an existing database file into our MySQL server. Step 1. Use the File Explorer to browse to the location containing the .sql file. Right-click to open the pop-up menu and select Open in Terminal option. Step 2. Create an empty database using the MySQL command line shell. Exit the shell after database creation. This database will act as a holder to hold the contents of the imported database. Step 3. Enter the command sudo mysql -u username -p database name left angular bracket filename.sql to import the database file from your system into your MySQL server. In order to uninstall MySQL, you will require a user with sudo privileges and a command line terminal window. If you are considering uninstalling MySQL from your Ubuntu system, you probably want to create a backup of your existing database. Let us look at how to create a backup of your databases first. Step 1. Open a terminal window and change the directory to a desired location. Alternatively, you can browse the location into your file system and open it in the terminal. This location will serve as the destination to store the exported database file. Step 2. In order to export a particular database, enter the command sudo mysql dump -u username -p database name right angular bracket filename.sql to export the database into your file system at the desired location. Let us finally look at how to uninstall MySQL from an Ubuntu operating system. Step 1. In order to uninstall MySQL completely from your Ubuntu operating system, enter the command sudo apt-get remove --purge mysql and enter Y when prompted to continue with the process of uninstallation. Step 2. In order to purge out all the MySQL related packages, enter the command sudo apt-get purge mysql to list all the packages that are needed to be purged. Step 3. Finally, use the auto remove feature by entering the command sudo apt-get auto remove to remove all the trailing packages. Remember, if you haven't deleted the MySQL storage directory manually, all the previously created databases will remain intact and safe. The MySQL 8.0 has a bug which causes the Genome Control Center to get purged out while uninstalling the MySQL server. In order to install back the Genome Control Center, enter the command sudo apt install genome-control-center.